What's up guys, my name is Timbo and welcome back to another episode of The Mystery Behind, the series all about theories and no thumbs gameplay. Now in this video we will be talking about a rather hot topic in the Destiny community at the moment, Mara Sov. If she's alive, what she's up to, why is she so darn attractive? You guys are some messed up people. If this video gets taken out for this, I blame you. Now surprisingly enough, in all my years, year, singular, of making the Mystery Behind videos, I have never covered the Queen of the Reef. She's been mentioned in Eris videos, Uldren videos, but has never had an episode of her own. So to compensate, she's gonna get two. Yes, this video will be a part 1 of those. I have done this sort of thing in the past, and just like back then, these videos will be their own separate theories, however they will be connected in terms of general overarching theme. Next video is a theory that is my personal favorite of the two. It has more potential and depth, it's just deeper, I don't know, you'll see. It involves the Nine and the Ahamkara and the Dreaming City and this concept of a princess locked in a tower. Today's theory is certainly more of a stretch, but I like to give you guys all the stuff I can, okay? There's nothing wrong with getting a little freaky from time to time. So without further ado, get off that creepy Mara website and grab your tinfoil hats, because we're about to get into it. As always, what we will start with is some background knowledge for those unaware, as well as those who need a refresher. Mara Sov is the Queen of the Reef, an area located in the asteroid belt in between Mars and Jupiter. Or stupider. When the fallen House of Wolves first attacked the Reef, Mara defeated their current Kel, my guess with the solar burn Galahorn. In response to this, as a show of mercy, Mara offered the remaining wolves a home in the Reef in exchange for allegiance. This is the reason why in Vanilla Destiny 1 we see a bunch of Fallen serving the Queen. Alongside her twin brother Uldren, the two assisted us in finding and activating a key to enter the Black Garden, an area with the black goop of evil that no one understands to this day. For doing this, the Queen demanded that we now owe her a favor if she ever needs one, and sure enough, she eventually did. Enter Destiny's second expansion, the House of Wolves, where the House of Wolves rebelled against the Queen and left the Reef. She then asked us, the Guardians who do all the things for all the people who can't do all the things on their own, for help, offering her riches in exchange for the traitors' heads. And then the last time we see Mara is in the opening cutscene to The Taken King, probably still my favorite sequence this game has. When Oryx's armies threatened the Reef, Mara organized a frontal attack on the Dreadnought to no avail. In retaliation, Oryx put his sword into the Thing, which sent out a massive pulse wave, literally killing everything in its path. Except Uldren, and probably Mara. All the unimportant people. They died though. Ever since then, the Reef has fallen to lawlessness and Mara has been presumed either missing or dead. Over the past few years, there have been some theories talking about her potential whereabouts, involving the Nine as one of the more popular ones I've seen. And especially now with the re-inclusion of Prince Uldren into the game, talk about Mara has become increasingly high. So where is she then? What's she up to? Will we see her in Forsaken? Well, I think before we answer any of those questions, we have to prove she's actually alive. The greatest piece of evidence is the one that I and others have referenced multiple times, which is the card that released during the House of Triumph that talks about Uldren crash landing on Mars. Throughout his journey of killing the Kel and taking over, there are a few times where Uldren feels a hum of starlight and knows that she is pleased with him, something along those lines, where the hum of starlight is pretty universally accepted to represent Mara Sov there. Now other than that, there are some other pieces of evidence out there. There's some footage from a while back with the voice actor of Mara talking about how the character is going to evolve, and a character might have a hard time evolving if they're dead. Some people have talked about how Mara's ship wasn't really protected, and thought that could have been done on purpose as a means to escape or fake her death or something crazy like that. I've even seen a theory that says Mara pulled a Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi and wasn't even there at the battle with Oryx at all. If you're asking me and thinking about Bungie and all that stuff, I think you can take this hum of starlight evidence and explain the rest of her more than likely reincarnation into the game as because video game. So just assuming Mara is alive in some way, shape, or form, what is she doing and how will she fit into the Forsaken storyline? Like I said, this video is a part 1 of 2, and next video's theory will start at this point in the video and go into a completely different direction. But for the sake of right now, let's start with theory number 1. You've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you should know where we're going with this. Today we explore the possibility that Mara is now evil and will return as a villain in Forsaken. Right off the bat, this approach might seem unlikely, and if that's the case, you'll probably like the other theory more. But let's take what information we can and see if there's any possibility at all to this being true. there's actually more evidence out there than you might think. The first piece is something you may or may not have seen before, which is this concept art. Well, this is awkward. I think by looking at it right away, you can almost certainly tell that this is Mara Sov. The blue skin, the crow on her shoulder, the white hair, the queen logo, the bright eyes, even the boots she has on are the exact pair she has been seen wearing in an old House of Wolves trailer. And this image fits the theme that a lot of people are going for at the moment for Mara, which is this sort of pirate queen character. And when you think about what's going on in the Reef at the moment, as well as combining it with other pieces of evidence I will get to in a second, it all kind of seems to make sense and fit together. Perhaps the biggest piece of evidence comes from an interview from a few years ago involving the voice actor for Mara Sov, Kirsten Potter. It had been said before that one of the reasons as to why Bungie chose her for this role was her ability to deepen her voice and fit this other side to the character that they would eventually be looking for. Here's what Bungie had to say in this interview.
It made us love Kirsten even more, and we'd spent 2 or 3 years working on the previous version of the Queen, where she was the pirate that she described, and very powerful, and had the lower, deeper voice, and really got gritty in an amazing way. And so we'd seen that, we knew that you had that in you, and we felt like if we could start at a different spot and get to that eventually, and this is totally spoiling like Destiny 2020 or something, but when we get to that world down the road where that original pirate queen comes out, I think it's gonna be a really powerful moment.
So yeah, I know that this was from a while back and doesn't technically mean that Bungie is for sure going through with this concept, despite the art matching the description. However, if we keep going, the more we find. One of the things that's important to note is that hum of starlight again. Uldren gets it when he takes over the Fallen and kills their Kel. The hum signifies that she is proud of him. It literally says she is pleased with what he had done. Mara is happy that her brother was able to take over this part of the Fallen. For a long time now, we've discussed Mara's plan that she refers to in The Taken King. To this day, we have no clue as to what exactly that plan is. In my previous video on Eris, it was suspected that she has a part to play in this plan, talking to Mara in the Taken King cutscenes, saying things like "I will not fail," and talking to her queen. Since then, like Uldren and Mara, Eris is yet to be seen. It's been a theory that Eris is trying to do something similar that Uldren is doing, taking over, only with the Hive. Could this be involved with her plan, taking over different enemy factions to make herself all the more powerful? In this recent picture, we see Prince Uldren wearing extremely similar clothing to what we saw Mara wearing in the other image. Not the one where she's naked, the real concept art. If Mara has some secret evil plan, her brother would most certainly be involved in that. Hence, matching uniforms. Another important factor to consider is the Reef in general. With Oryx's attack, it has pretty much been wiped out, left to lawlessness and ruin. With many of the Awoken gone, Mara would need some new people to control or take over. With that being said, becoming this pirate per se and forming alliances with enemy factions or any part of ragtag group you could find makes sense. You'd have to be out exploring the galaxy, picking fights, stealing possessions for your own, getting recruits, pretty similar to a pirate. Forsaken is even supposed to start with Uldren breaking barons out of prison. This whole concept or idea doesn't necessarily explain the motive other than gaining power, but it does certainly fit and line up with events that have preceded it. So while this theory is second to the next one I'm going to make a video on, I would not be surprised if come September we see the Queen of the Reef in a whole new lighting. But guys, those are my thoughts on the evil pirate queen mastermind theory of awesomeness. In the comments below, make sure to let me know your thoughts on all this. Is the queen still alive? If so, where has she been all this time, and how will she fit into Forsaken's storyline? Like I said, within the next few days, I should have a part 2 to this theory coming out, and it's a good one. Without giving too much away, it involves Uldren, Mara, the Alhamkara, the Nine, Eris, and the Dreaming City. It involves motive and that gray area in between the light and the darkness. I love to see Uldren in a brand new way. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy it. Depending on when you're watching this video, it might already be uploaded. So make sure to subscribe and keep your eyes glued to the channel so you don't miss it. But thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you could please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. 100,000 is getting so close, I can almost taste it. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.